Thank you very much for hosting OutSystems here, talking about DevSecOps. So the motto of my talk is just to share with you a little glimpse of the way how do we operate in regarding security, and how do we implement security in the Dev and Ops way of thinking. So for those who are not familiar, OutSystems is one of the leaders in the low-code software development. So we have a platform where customers are able to develop their own applications using just a normal graphical interface and an IDE made from us that allows customers to develop their own applications in a much more rapid and faster way, using low-code approach. The platform itself, it's able to develop, let's say, the full stack. So there is a concept of coding without walls in that sense inside of the platform. So we are able to deploy applications either for web and for mobile using the same graphical interface or the same concepts. And we have the full cycle of the development, since the coding, the tests, and the production, and we can complete and we can control all the versioning of the different pipelines. So the platform itself can be deployed either on premises or on cloud or in both. So you can have like hybrid environments. So you can have like development environments on premises and production environments in the cloud, or the other way around. So it's just a question of architecture and options. So in this talk, I will just mention on the platform as a service way of looking. So the complete platform in the cloud. So that's where we are managing the complete platform infrastructure supporting our platform. The platform itself is deployed in AWS infrastructure all over the world. So we are using multiple regions in AWS for our customers. And each customer, whenever he buys a platform, he has a specific VPC for their environments, where he can have the development environment, the quality, and the production environments inside of that VPC, where he can manage all the rights and policies and profiles of their users while managing the development lifecycle. Okay. So in this concept of using a platform for development in the cloud, so security, it's more than a market demand. So it's a must to be included in the platform itself and in the infrastructure that we are orchestrating. So we have to look on the infrastructure and also on the platform itself, and also what in the behaviors that the customers or the developers or the users are doing inside of or on top of the applications that are generated by the platform. Another consideration very important here is the compliance requirements. So the compliance is being quite a big requirement in nowadays, in particular in the more mature markets and in bigger companies. Compliance is a must-have. So since we are on the cloud, on the internet, so the cyber risk exposure is being growing. So the number of threats that are happening on the cloud and on the internet per se. So security is a must-have while we are talking about platform developments in the cloud. So the way that we were operating before the platform on the cloud, we were much more a product-oriented company. So we were just deploying, although it's still valid when the customer wants to deploy their platform in their premises. so in their systems, in their data centers. So we just grab a piece of software and then just install in their servers, and then you can have all the infrastructure by themselves, and the platform just runs on top of it. While we are on the platform as a service in the cloud, so we have a quite slight different approach. We are much more looking on a service rather than a product. So, and when we are providing services, we have different type of considerations that we are not so worried when we are on the product lifecycle. Okay, so in order to address this shift in this sense, we have like two dimensions where we approach on the security, and this is a top-down concern, either on the organizational level, but also on the practice level. So we have two different areas. And these areas are coordinated by the security office, which is a formal, I would say, function in the company, with the global responsibility, where we have 4 different areas of functions we have inside of the security office. One is related with the Security Operations Center and the CSIRT, where we are just monitoring and when we are just, let's say, coordinating incident response whenever there is an incident. The other area is security engineering. The security engineering is the set of capabilities that we have inside of the security office that are providing guidance, providing controlled options. We are influencing the development of the product. So we are just putting pieces of security inside of the development lifecycle, but also on the operational side. So we are also influencing the areas that are supporting the networks, the systems, and so on the security aspects, but also on the physical controls whenever it is true. So we are also responsible for that. And the third area is related with the compliance, which is the continuous improvement. It's the area where we manage the governance, risk, and compliance standards that we try to be certified. Okay, and the fourth and the last but not the least, we also deal with what we call it emergency operations. It's a set of capabilities that we have inside to handle disruptive incidents. So if in any chance there is an incident that could cause any disruption on the operational of the company, by the way, tomorrow we will have a drill. Tomorrow, that's a coincidence, we will have an exercise tomorrow. And this area takes care of that part. So this means that the sec component in the company, in the organizational level, it's really in the middle between the development teams and also on the operational teams. In fact, we have 4 pipelines of development inside of the company. One is the core product itself, what we call it R&D core, so where all the features and the innovation on the product. The other one is on the cloud, where we have development on top of the infrastructure in order to include the platform to run as a service. Also, we have the digital. We call it digital, which is let's say the corporate IT of the company, where the supply chain of the service, it's also included here, where the customer subscriptions are activated, the licensing schemes, and all that stuff that is surrounding the activation codes and the support portals that the customer is able to contact with us, and all that forums, all that stuff that is running around the motions of the customers with our product and with our company. And also we have expert services. This is the teams that are professional services teams of the company who are deploying services in customers. So in fact, they are just replacing the customers and the users itself of the platform, where they are also producing their development capabilities and using the platform as a way of delivering software for any purpose. So this is on the dev side. On the ops side, we also have the product support, which is the set of guys that are able to support the product itself. The cloud operations, which is another team which is able to operate and to orchestrate on the cloud. Then digital also has its own digital ops, and the expert services, they also rely on DevOps methodologies to deploy the applications that the customers want to have while choosing our platform. And security, we are in the middle, providing guidance and vulnerability alerts mainly for the development side. And we are providing attack protection and threat intelligence to the operational side, because we are centralizing information, logging and so on, and we are controlling what is happening on both sides, either on the dev side and also on the operational side. Okay, so we are an independent function inside of the company. So we are not on the dev side, neither on the ops side. We are in the middle, so we deal together, let's say, the efforts between those teams. So we also rely on the on the Larry McCurran, but with adaptations for our activities. One of them is using the monitoring analytics capability on both sides, and I will explain in a real fact where we are doing that with a product. This is very important, because we need to have the visibility, integrated visibility, what is happening in the different motions. But also we also include some other, let's say, activities in the model. Like, for instance, whenever we publish a binary, we do a validation of that binary, if how that binary will be accepted by the virus technologies, and how they will behave in the different environments. So this is a kind of validation. It's very important, because otherwise, if this validation doesn't happen, we will have for sure incidents on the ops side, because there are perception of a malware or something that is not known, because it is new features that are coming up on that binary file. But also for us, the most important part in this model, that is where I am responsible to influence as much as possible, is the far most left side of the thing, which is really in the planning phase. So here, where we have all the time of the world, where we are able to forecast whatever we want, so where we are designing the efforts, where we are designing the use case, this is the most important area here. And thread modeling, it's very important to be part of the use cases. Very, very, very important to be part on the use cases. But also for us and for the majority of the customers, the compliance analysis is very important to see how does that application will fit in the compliance requirements that we are trying to achieve. If it is a PCI thing, or if it is a HIPAA thing, or if it is like a SOC 2 thing or whatever, we have to take that into account really in a very early phase, not on the penetration testing, not on the fuzzy testing, not on whatever. We have to take care of that really in the beginning. This is the most important piece that we should take in account in this model. Okay, this is very important, and we are very, very focused on this. Okay, because with the very well designed use cases, developers would be much more aware about the behaviors that they will do while they are developing the code. So we are anticipating reworking, because otherwise, if we will just work on the fix, we will rework somehow. So, and guess what? It is in a very far moment, close to the production moment, and the time is just running against us. And here we have all the time to be controlled, and we have all the forecast with us at this moment. So, and whenever we feel the cycle, more is the accuracy of the thread modeling, because this process gives us the ability to increase the thread modeling process with the knowledge of the operational side, okay? Really in a complete view. So if I would just remind you to give away from this talk, please look on thread modeling thing. It's very important, and please enforce your product owners to include in all the use cases the thread modeling capability whenever they are designing a use case. Look on the Microsoft Strides methodology. It's one of them, so it's quite good. So you can go on here. So, well, seeing it's not completed everywhere, so we have different maturity levels in different areas. So while adopting these practices, the DevSecOps practices, so we are keep working, otherwise I would not be there. So if the thing was everything complete, I was not in the company. But again, we have different levels of maturity. Our main focus at the moment is on the cloud supply chain, on the cloud pipeline, which is far most the one that is providing us much more challenges, and the one that we are just, let's say, increasing our maturity level. Okay? Makes sense, this approach? Okay. So I'm going to show you about a little bit of a product that we are just launching now, which is the Sentry, which is a product that we have, where all those disciplines in the cloud are applied. Okay? So, as I mentioned before, platform as a service, 24/7 running on the internet. Customers all over the world, Americas, Asia Pacific, Europe. Different use cases supporting the platforms, different type of industries, different type of applications, B2B, B2C, different workloads. That's the motto of these. Spread all over the world. So when customers adopt, this is an add-on on our product. This is not the full function, the mainstream product, the standard product. This is an add-on on the standard offer in order to accommodate customers who have, or applications who have strict security requirements, because we have to have like a partnership with the customer, because we have to be proactive, we have to be preventive, but we are not aware about the use case itself of what the customer is doing, and we have to have the engagement with the customer to feel how their business is running, if it is normal or if it is abnormal. So we have to take care about this operation in a continuous way. Okay. So in terms of technology, we have quite a significant amount of pieces inside of the technology, like log retention and log information. We have antivirus, anti-malware. We have file integrity monitoring pieces. We have IDS, IPS. We have virtual patching. So we have different pieces of technology on the infrastructure layer supporting the platform. Okay. And in the VPC, so this is the environments. We have like agents in all the servers that we have on the VPC for the customer. In our case, we are using Trend Micro for endpoint security for the servers, and also we are using Splunk for the security information event manager. So that are the two main tools that we are using on censoring the applications. But also we have information from AWS, from CloudWatch, from CloudTrail, from VPC logs, and all that stuff that come to us, to the SIEM to get the knowledge and to get the behaviors at the different levels. Okay, so supporting this, we have a security operations center where we have a computer security incident response team working with the platforms. There are some arrows missing here, but this team, it's in the middle between the internal network and the internal activities that are happening on the assets that we have on the corporate level. So handling even the laptops and the development environment that our developers are using, and all the networks and all that stuff, and the support touch points from the customers, where the customers are reporting all the activities from here. But also we are connected with other external CSRTs and other external entities in order to grab information from the external world to our incident response. So we have more than 100 cases supporting some proactive and preventive measures. So like one of them is if we found an admin login from an IP source in Europe 5 minutes later from US, this is an abnormal behavior. It's not normal to have this kind of behavior. So we have procedures in the operations team in the operations team to validate these. So there is alerts on top of this. This is just an example. We have more than 100 and growing. So this is really proactive and preventive way of doing this security stuff. This is valid for different layers. I mean, this is an example. This is valid for the infrastructure layer, platform layer, and even for the application layer whenever we are receiving the logs from the applications. So it's not always the common way. But also we are relying on the compliance thing, which is very important to have stamps. But more than stamps is the adoption of the practice itself. So we are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. We also are ISO 27001 for information security management system, the overall management system in the company. ISO 22301, which is the certification for business continuity, the one that for the emergency operations that we are testing tomorrow. And also we are members of the Cloud Security Alliance in order to share information between members of the Cloud Security Alliance to grab feeds of threads and knowledge and behaviors that are happening in the industry, in the world, to make us much more aware about what is happening. Okay. So this points us under market leadership. So we are on the let's say in the top right level from different analysts, either for web and for mobile. And in the future, what we are feeling right now, we will merge the operations team, the cloud operations team, with the security operations. Why? Because it's being day by day much more, let's say, close, and the need of having those two teams working together, because the blood of the internet, it's getting more and more and more, and we need to be very, very, very accurate on that perspective way of operating. On the practice level, of course, we need to increase the training. We need to promote the adoptions of the different practices, either on the dev or in the ops side. We also need to increase the visibility of well, we are quite a little bit noisy at the moment, but we need to be much more visible in the company in terms of real situations and tailored reactions to specific behaviors. So this is the kind of visibility that we want to achieve. So to be tailored, to be more frequent. And also automation is our challenge. So we want to be much more focused on the response and the automation of the attacks. For this, so let's say we are just in testing this thing. It's not really in production yet, but we have this service from AWS, which are collecting information, so intelligence information from the AWS itself. So when we are receiving CloudTrail, flow logs from the VPCs, DNS logs, and all other logs from AWS, we are putting them in our intelligence center. So just to, in this service, we can do the first correlation, just to like a big separation of what is for us or what is not for us. Then we will include a second correlation with the information of our assets, because we have the information for our VPCs, for our technology here, and for our servers, okay? And then we will, based on that information, because here we are collecting information from Trend Micro, for instance, from the sensors that we have on our servers, okay? And correlating information from AWS with the information that we have from our assets, we are able to implement like a Lambda function to make a specific configuration or change in the infrastructure layer or in the servers on the Trend Micro endpoint in order to block, to protect any, let's say, abnormal behavior or any attack that we are just grabbing from the correlation we have. And also, we are fitting the GuardDuty service with the intelligence that we have from Trend Micro, which is like customer intelligence in that sense, because this is very specific from that specific customer, because we have agents per customer. I mean, per asset, per customer, okay? So here we are just including the thread information from the customer, and we will propagate it in a supply chain in order to increase the level of intelligence and reaction of the support of the attacks. Okay, that's it.